What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome back to MattTalkTV, your spot for wrestling predictions, rankings, and all things WWE. And today we're diving headfirst into one of the biggest weekends of the year, WrestleMania 41. We've got a loaded slate. SmackDown is setting the stage with the tag team title match in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. NXT Stand Deliver is looking to bring the heat with future WWE on full display. And then, of course, it's WrestleMania 41 itself. 2 nights of epic showdowns, title clashes, and potential career-defining moments. In this video, I'll be breaking down my full predictions for it all. Who walks out with the gold, who steals the show, and who might shock the world. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any wrestling content. Smash that like button down below if you're hyped for WrestleMania. And drop your own predictions in the comments. I want to know who you think is walking out on top. Let's get into it. WrestleMania weekend starts now. Let's start off with my predictions for SmackDown on Friday night. I'm going to throw the Andre the Battle Royal and the Motor City Machine Guns versus Street Profits in here. So we're going to start off the tag match. Motor City Machine Guns versus Street Profits. I think there's 2 ways I'm thinking about this. I think that the Street Profits will win. Now, whether that means they win clean, I don't think so. But I think it's rather going to be that there's a bunch of chaos by the other, SmackDown teams that have been in this storyline for a while. I think it's going to end up being a no contest. And then I think we're actually going to then put this match, that 10-man tag team match on the WrestleMania card. We haven't got any, announcements for it, but I don't think you could build this story up the way they've been building this and not have this match at WrestleMania. So I'm gonna go with the Street Profits win, whether it's by disqualification or no contest, or I don't think it's gonna be clean, but if it's clean, I'll take the point. I think we're gonna see the tag team titles at WrestleMania. Moving on, we've got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Say that 5 times fast. I don't think I can. This one, there's literally nothing to go off of. I'm currently recording this as of Thursday night, so the 17th. We don't know any of the competitors. I just checked the website. There's nothing there. But I'm going with SmackDown's newest superstar, Rey Fenix. Don't have anything to go off, but that is who I'm picking to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Next, we're moving on to NXT Stand and Deliver. They've added some more matches since the last time I looked. This will be happening on Saturday on the 19th at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're going to start off with the number 1 contender match for the women's tag team titles. In this match, we have Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson versus Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade versus Fatal Influence, which I believe is JC Jane and Fallon Henley versus Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan. So, admittedly, I don't watch a whole lot of NXT, but I do like making predictions, and I figured let's go ahead and make this a mega predictions video. I'm going to be short and sweet with this one. I think Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade are winning this. I remember seeing a clip about, her finding a match she was going to originally go in single, and then Cora Jade walked up, and I think that's probably the most interesting story, especially with what I have booked later on in the WrestleMania card. So that's going to be pretty quick choice there. We're going to go Roxy Perez, Cora Jade. Next, we'll move on to the D'Angelo family versus Dark State. Admittedly, again, don't watch a whole lot of NXT. I just kind of watch highlights and just kind of keep up with it. So I actually don't know what the go-home math is on this or anything, but I'm just going to go ahead and pick Dark State. They're the new stable in NXT. They've been causing chaos. I think you give them the win here. I don't know the D'Angelo family needs it. Maybe. I'm not sure who, at least on the men's side, they're going to really call up. Tony D'Angelo could be, but they probably want to call up the whole stable, so they may be in NXT for another year. But I think that's a pretty easy pick, Dark State, to win this 6-man tag team match. Next, we're going to go on to the NXT Tag Team Champions Fraxium versus Hank and Tank. Again, I don't think I need to keep harping on that I don't watch NXT, but Fraxium is one of the best tag teams in WWE, if not the whole world. I don't think they lose it here unless you're gonna like call them up post WrestleMania. Um, but I don't think you let Hank. I don't think Hank and Tank are the ones to do it. So I think I am going with Fraxium here. It would have been nice to see when they were doing the TNA stuff, or even like because I think they technically still are. If they would have just ran back versus the Hardys, had the Hardys win and Stand and Deliver, then the Hardys could be on NXT for a little bit. But here we are. So I'm going Fraxium. Next, we're going the NXT North American Championship. Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page. I know Ricky Saints just won this. He's a brand new to the WWE. Came over from AEW. Ricky Starks. If you guys don't know, I don't think there's a way Ricky loses this. I don't see it. He just got this title. You want to keep him on top. I mean, I know Ethan Page is like, he's also from AEW, but like, I don't know. We gave him the world title already. You know, I think Ricky Saints should win this. Not sure who I'd have dethrone him. By the way, keep an eye out for that video. I planned one, like a month ago, like a who will dethrone every champion video. And then like, it was weird timing because it's like, oh, we had a title change. Now I got to rewrite my, predictions, and then another title change, rewrite predictions. And then I had like the final, like my finals for school. I'm in college right now. So, it got put indefinitely. So what I'll probably do when I do finally make that video post WrestleMania, I'll keep an eye out for that next week. I have what I said was going to be dethroned, or who was going to dethrone, and we'll use those to kind of compare if I was right or if I was wrong, and then we'll try to project them in the future. And next we have the ladder match, 6-women ladder match for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Matches between Zarya, Kalani Jordan, Sol Ruka, Izzy Dame, Lola Vice, and Thea Hale. This one is a hard one because, like, again, since I don't watch NXT, I don't know if there's anything that would tell me, oh, this is the person I would should lean towards. I know Kalani is a former champion. Funny enough, I would have probably went with Sol Ruka, but she just won the Speed Championship. Not that that really matters at all, but it could also mean that she's getting called up. I mean, yes, I don't think the Speed Championship warrants her to get called up, but who knows? So I'm ultimately going with Lola Vice. I know I've seen, she's kind of been putting in work. Any match I've seen with Lola Vice has been pretty good. I think you put it on her. I mean, unless you're going to put on Sol Ruka Zarya and they're going to like feud between those. But I think we're just going to go with Lola Vice. I don't think there's any reason not to. Next, we will have the NXT Women's Championship match, Fatal 4-Way, between Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, Jordan Grace, and Jada Parker. So, with this match, the only thing I know for sure is Jada Parker's not winning. Outside of that, it was very hard for me to pick a winner here. Clearly, like, Stephanie Vaquer could retain for sure. Julia could win it back. She just lost to Stephanie, and I heard it's supposed to be because of an injury, but she's back pretty quickly. And so like it didn't make sense necessarily for her to drop it if that's the case. But and you have the newcomer Jordan Grace. She's pretty familiar with NXT because when she was over in TNA, she was defending her title in NXT. She had, I think, a match with Roxanne. But I'm ultimately going to go with Jordan Grace here. I think you give her you strap her with the belt. Again, show the other companies' wrestlers that their contracts are coming up. They're like, hey, this is where you want to come. They'll strap a championship on you, immortalize you. But, this could go any way except for Jada Parker, I think. The only way it's Jada Parker is if they're going to call up Julia Vaquer and Jordan Grace all in this, if they're doing an upcoming draft. We don't know if they're going to do it. I don't know that we're going to have such a hard brand split in this upcoming year because of something I'll get to later on. But then we have the last match on the card for the NXT Championship Triple Threat. Obafemi, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans, the Pokemon evolutions of NXT wrestlers. I think this is pretty cut and dry. I think Obafemi is going to retain. But that's the thing. This could be another wrestler that gets caught up in the draft. I mean, he's so good. I think the main roster could benefit from having a monster like him. I mean, if they would just book Omos right, he could be that. Like, Obafemi is what the WWE wants Omos to be, like wanted Omos to be, right? I think Trick Williams is definitely getting caught up in the draft. And so, like, the only other option I would have here is Javon Evans winning. And that could happen, but I think Obafemi is still going to be in NXT for at least another year. So we're going to keep that on Obafemi. So now we're going to move into the show of all shows. Right? Night 1 of WrestleMania on Saturday. I think it almost kind of looks like the better one, but we're going to go ahead and start off with the World Tag Team Championships between the War Raiders and the New Day. I have a small issue with this even being on the card because they've kind of fumbled the story here. They haven't made it super relevant. It started off really good, and then the New Day heel turn, and then she kind of fell off a cliff. They had the tag team match the other week for the titles, and that ended in a DQ. I think there's only one way that this match is on the WrestleMania card. And I think Big E is going to get involved. Now, even with Big E getting involved, I think most people would say the War Raiders won. I think you have to put the belts on New Day at this point. You can't not put them on there. Like, you turned them heel, made them freshen up, made them diss Big E, but I think New Day walks away with the World Tag Team Champions at the end of WrestleMania. Next, we have Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. I can see this going either way. I'm going to lean El Grande Americano coming out with a dub. It's probably going to end up being like a series match. They'd probably get like another one at Backlash. But I think El Grande Americano gets this. Rey doesn't need the win. If they make Chad Gable lose another, or allegedly Chad Gable lose another match, Chad Gable deserves a world title. He deserves that world title right there. There. Looks so good on him. Give me flashbacks to Kurt Angle in the early 2000s. Next, we're actually going to throw on a match that has not been announced yet. Could be on night 1, could be on night 2. But it's going to be Randy Orton versus Nick Aldis. I think that's the direction they're going. I originally kind of pitched a gauntlet match where the final, so you can get like Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, maybe Rey Fenix on the card, and then you end that gauntlet series with Aleister Black or Rusev. I think Aleister Black would be better because he's been, they've been teasing him. I think WrestleMania would be a great spot for him, but you don't really want Randy losing. You don't really want Aleister Black winning or losing. So, unless you just have all those matches be bangers, and then when Black comes in, you have like a 25-minute banger. But we don't even know. We don't even know if we're getting a Randy Orton match that hasn't been announced. But I think if they are going to go, people are saying versus Solo Sikoa. Nobody wants to see that match. I don't want to see it. So I'm going to book Aldis, against Aldis. And I think clearly Randy Orton's going to win. And I think it's going to set up something for him at Backlash. And we'll get into, I think next week as well, we're going to do a video where we predict the Backlash card. I think that would be a fun video to do. So we're going to have a busy week next week, moving on, we've got Jade Cargill versus Naomi. this could technically go either way, but I don't see it going it. I only see it going one way, and that's Jade Cargill winning. She gets her revenge on Naomi, and she wins, and I think maybe it sets up something with Bianca at like SummerSlam or something, because I think they're pushing for Rhea versus Bianca at next year's WrestleMania or something. Um, but I think Jade Cargill wins this, gets her revenge, and we'll move on to the United States Championship match. L.A. Knight, yeah, versus Jacob Fatu. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying that LA Knight's going to retain this title because Solo is going to get involved and cost Jacob the match. I don't want that. I think Jacob Fatu should win the U.S. title, and then they should feud over the title. I think we need, with as many new people coming in, with as many titles as WWE has, we need more title movement. And I think it's an easy way to set up stories. I mean, it doesn't have to be lazy booking to set these stories up, but I think we need more stories. And so I have Jacob Fatu winning this match, and he'll probably feud with Solo over this title at some point. Moving on, we've got the WWE Women's Championship. Your champion Tiffany Stratton versus the Royal Rumble winner Charlotte Flair. Unfortunately, and I said this in my WrestleMania card prediction video, it's gonna be Charlotte Flair. I don't have to have any discourse about this. It's gonna be Charlotte Flair, unfortunately. With as much of a debacle as this build has been, maybe they like what they've seen out of Tiffany, and she's gotten, Charlotte a little flustered, especially during that one really bad promo. Maybe they go with Tiffany, but I think ultimately they brought Charlotte back. They made her win the Rumble to win the title. I don't think this is a passing of the torch moment, which doesn't make sense because Charlotte's not the champion. But referring to that video where I guess the WrestleMania prediction card, I think tomorrow we're going to have a video. I'm going to do a video of me reacting to how right and wrong I was at WrestleMania. On the card. I know I got some things right. I got some things half right, and I got some things completely wrong. So we'll take a look at that probably tomorrow. Moving on. This match actually, I think, has been confirmed to be the opener, so I should have done it first, but we got the World Heavyweight Championship between Jey Uso, the Royal Rumble winner, and the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. Now, this might be the most predictable match on the card, in my opinion. After the other week of that brutal beatdown of Jimmy, I think that sealed it. Like, that was when I'm like, if I question it at all, I no longer question it. Jey Uso is walking out of WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion. Because on top of that, if Jey doesn't walk out the World Heavyweight Champion, well, he's going to lose a lot of the fan support, and I don't think WWE can afford to do that. I don't think he can. So Jey Uso has to walk out. Strike while the iron's hot. Give the hot hand QB1. Whatever. I don't know that he'll keep this championship for a long time, but I think he will be the champion for now. And lastly, we do have the main event of Night 1 WrestleMania, the triple threat between Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. I see this going one of two ways with the winner, right? The match can go several different. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to go. But I don't see Roman Reigns winning this match at all. I only see Punk or Rollins winning it. And it's going to be dependent on some things that happen in the match, clearly, but I think, and I'll just cut to the chase here, CM Punk wins this match outright. I think Heyman probably, I think the inaction of Heyman or the walking away of Heyman may be what ultimately decides this match. I think Punk still wins it. It's his first WrestleMania main event. I think they give him the win. We don't know if he'll be at next year's WrestleMania. He's getting older. Injury could happen anytime, so I think you give him the win, the main event win now. I think you can also use this to um, do something different with Seth Rollins. I mean, he's all. I think you can make it so, he's been saying some stuff that aligns with things that Cena and maybe The Rock have said. WWE just posted a specific perspective of Seth coming out of the Shield stuff during the WrestleMania main event last year. And I think maybe this is a long game and that um, Seth aligns with The Rock and John Cena. I think that could be your like authority faction essentially. So I think Punk has to win here. It's a final straw for Rollins. Rollins goes backstage, sells his soul to The Rock, essentially just what John Cena did. Next, we'll open up night 2 of WrestleMania. We're going to open up. I don't know what's going to open it up, but I'm going to open up the prediction with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match of Liv and Raquel versus Bayley and Lyra. Now, this is where that number 1 contender result comes into play. At first, I had Liv and Raquel. I was like, okay, it's just to get them on the card. They're going to win. This will be a Bayley heel turn on Lyra, and that's how Liv and Raquel will win. But with that number 1 contender match and it being like Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez sticking out, I'm going with Bayley and Lyra. I think that's going to be the feud for the titles next. Revisiting Bayley and Roxanne Perez's feud that they started a couple months back. I mean, I thought they really would do either Lyra versus Bayley versus Roxanne Perez at WrestleMania. Like recently, I kind of thought that. Or they would do Bayley versus Roxanne Perez at Stand and Deliver, but like none of that happened, and now they're doing this tag match. So I think that's how they're going to revisit the feud is through these tag titles. So I'm going Bayley and Lyra Valkyria to win the women's tag titles. Next, we're going on to AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Honestly, I don't think I need a reason to pick AJ Styles. AJ Styles is going to win. He's the face. I don't know why like storyline Logan Paul's would win. I think this is just a one and done kind of thing just to get Logan Paul on the card. I think Logan Paul versus John Cena would have been a much better match, but it's also because I'm a little biased and I wanted Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk. Now we did get heel John Cena, so like it's a little more interesting than, white meat babyface John Cena versus white meat babyface Cody Rhodes. So, but AJ Styles I think gets the win here. I don't know. I mean, this could it doesn't deserve a stipulation. It could maybe use a stipulation, but maybe like a falls count anywhere even, and they could have built that up. But nonetheless, singles match, 1-on-1, AJ Styles winning. And we're going to move on to the fatal 4-way match for the Intercontinental title between Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. I've seen a bunch of different outcome predictions for this. I only think there's one correct prediction. There's one that's I guess not as bad, but I think the worst outcome here would be Breaker retaining. I know people love Breaker. I think he's great, and that spear he did on Carlito the other week was phenomenal. But we need, like I was saying with the U.S. title, with all these new people coming in, we need to see some title movement. We need to have stories around these titles, and having the same person defend and defend and defend just gets so boring. So I think we're gonna in my booking here, we're gonna set up a new story around this Intercontinental title. Dominic Mysterio is gonna pin Finn Balor to win the Intercontinental Champion, get first main roster singles gold. And then they're gonna feud over it. Finn's gonna be jealous. He's gonna leave the Judgment Day or get kicked out. Someone else is gonna come into the Judgment Day, whether that be, I don't know that and generally you'd probably first think when like Judgment Day's original theme, Aleister Black would be perfect, but he's gonna be on SmackDown. Rusev the Redeemer, if you did like a combo of his you do Rusev, but you take his like the Redeemer gimmick, And you just make Rusev the Redeemer. I think could be a really cool faction leader, but they keep teasing a new member. I'm trying to figure out who this new member is going to be, but not entirely sure who it's going to be. But I am picking Dominic Mysterio to win. If he doesn't win, I'm rioting, dude. Next, we're going to put another match here on the card that hasn't been announced. One I alluded to earlier with the SmackDown predictions of that 10-man WWE champion tag team championship match between the Street Profits, DIY, Pretty Deadly, Motor City Machine Guns, and then Angel and Berto, which would be, I guess, Legado del Fantasma, or whatever they're known as. They're going by the Garzas, whatever. I haven't exactly sorted out in my brain who would win this match. I think the Street Profits, man. I think they're going to be good champions, and I think they should be. But what I'm more interested in seeing is, and I think I put this on my card predictions video a while back. Pretty Deadly winning, so they can finally have their titles. They can do their Pretty Deadly the musical. I think that would be the perfect SmackDown after Mania segment to celebrate them winning. So that's who I'm going to go with. We don't even know this match going to happen, but I think it should. I don't think there's any. I think it's a huge missed opportunity if you don't have a 10-man ladder match. Because there's no other ladder matches on the card. Not that you have to have one, right? But we don't have many stipulations. We have that's a normal match. That's a normal match. That's a normal match. That's a normal match. Normal. Sin City Street Fight. Normal. So, there's no stipulations. I think they went really light with the stipulations. Maybe we'll get some announced for some matches on SmackDown tomorrow night. Who knows? But I think this could really use another stipulation match. So I think we're gonna call this a 10-man ladder match with Pretty Deadly winning those tag titles. Next, we're moving on to that aforementioned Sin City Street Fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. They always put Damian Priest in these street fight matches. That's a little odd, huh? I mean, he does perform well in them. And the one against Bad Bunny was a banger. The one him and Balor had against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens was a banger. So, I guess, yeah, sure. If it's his, match specialty, go ahead. But, albeit his match specialty, I have Drew McIntyre winning this match. After the year he had after this story, even though he's the bad guy, I think you have to have Drew win this match. I mean, there's no other way. I think Drew suffers the most from losing this match. Damian Priest is still going to do it. I mean, he's still fighting his thing on SmackDown. I guess that's true for Drew McIntyre as well. But I think Drew McIntyre should be immediate. This should earn him maybe a world title match down the line. I mean, clearly he'll still probably have to go through the number one contenders match, but we have Drew McIntyre winning this Sin City Street Fight. And for the penultimate match, we've got the Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. I know this is one of those matches I mostly got right, but didn't quite. I had actually Liv Morgan being the third person instead of Bianca Belair. But this build has been pretty entertaining, in my opinion. I know some people have been complaining about it, but I really like it. I think most people I've heard are foregone conclusion, Bianca Belair is going to win this match. And that's probably, I mean, I'm not going to say that's the best answer or the right answer, because with the story they're telling, I think Io Sky has to win. Io Sky is the person they're overlooking. She's the champion. I know it seems like maybe she just got inserted in this feud because they gave her her world title shot and she won. Surprisingly, I'll give that spoil on the dethrone. I didn't have Io Sky dethroning Rhea Ripley. I had Bianca Belair. So I was wrong there. Io Sky is it's not one. It is my favorite women's wrestler. I think she's honestly the best women's wrestler in the world. And I think even if you do a genderless, top 20 list, she's on my top 20 wrestlers of all time, even if not just the current, you know? So I ultimately going to go Io Sky here. I think storyline wise, it makes the most sense. I don't think I I just don't think Rhea and Bianca need the title. Same thing people were saying about Punk and Rollins. I mean, I think it needs. I don't think that it needs the title, but I think the title needs it. But I don't think that in this case. I think Io Sky needs to win this. Even if she loses at a Backlash, kind of like what they did with Bianca and Asuka a couple years ago, or whenever it was, or yeah, 2 years ago, 39, where they had Asuka win it at Backlash because they wanted like Bianca to break that record. I think Io Sky deserves. I think she deserves to win on the WrestleMania stage. That Bianca has gotten before, and so has Rhea. I think if you want to continue the thing they've been saying, because it used to be like she's undefeated at WrestleMania, but she did lose a pre-show like battle royal once. So technically that's not true unless you don't want to count it. But so they've been saying she hasn't been pinned at WrestleMania. We can continue that here and have Io Sky pin Rhea Ripley to retain her world championship. And lastly, we do have the main event of night 2, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Match I didn't expect to want to see. I mean, it's not the match I 100% want to see, but I originally was thinking babyface Cody, babyface Cena. Ugh, I don't want to see this. I'm not a big John Cena fan. I think he's super lackluster. I think he's super boring, super white meat, whatever the milk toast, as I think I've heard people describe him as, like whatever word you want, whatever description you want to use. Babyface John Cena just doesn't do it for me. But the heel turn in Elimination Chamber, holy, that's really changed up. I think the promos were kind of like he wasn't there every week for the build, so I think it lost some points there. I think I think the promos were good. Cody's to me were more impactful. I don't know. I've never found the whole, even though he didn't do the whole fine speech thing, it still had that same energy, right? Like, oh, mic drop, like fine speech, whatever. Like, I don't know. I think Cena's promos were good. They just weren't I think they're not what everyone is hyping them up to be. But I do think this match is going to be an overbooked mess. I think clearly we're going to get interference from The Rock. I think we're going to get interference from Stone Cold. I mean, could see that. But I think ultimately we're going to also get interference from Seth Rollins. That's how I have this booked. I think Seth Rollins is going to be that final piece. I mean, we had Travis Scott too. But after that, like, cheap shot, and I say cheap shot, but like, you know what I mean. Everyone saw that hit that Travis Scott put on Cody Rhodes. Like, nobody explained to Travis that wrestling is scripted, but I think ultimately here John Cena wins his 17th title. And that is only because there are some matches that will be set up that I don't think you need the world title, but it definitely helps and it makes it easier to like make those stories happen, right? A little sneak peek for maybe like a Backlash booking is, Backlash is in St. Louis, Missouri. You know who one of John Cena's all-time opponents is? That's from St. Louis? Randy Orton. I think that's the match we're going to get. I think that's what the match with Aldis is kind of going to help build to. I don't think, we don't need that much. And later you can do Punk. I want to see an LA Knight match because whenever Cena and LA Knight tag teamed, I mean, there's so many matches we can do here that, especially with Babyface, like we've kind of cycled through the heels. For Cody that are on the world championship level. We have so many more faces that are on the world title level that I think we would benefit from having a heel here. And then John Cena gets his 17th. I mean, who knows? Maybe we get a Ric Flair appearance because he said he would like try to stop Cena himself from beating his record. Because I think it's like technically Flair would have even higher of a number of world title reigns if they count in like some of his other stuff. I don't remember, but we're going to go with John Cena to win the last match of WrestleMania. And I think that will. I think that's. I mean, that's the end of the predictions, right? I mean, maybe we can do a real quick thing here. Raw after Mania. There's clearly. I mean, I think we have Raw after Mania and SmackDown after Mania, right? I think we clearly get Rusev and Aleister Black. Um, I don't. I don't know that we can't debut them. I guess they could wait, but like I think Black will for sure get. Whether it be at WrestleMania, could be this Friday night. Maybe that soon ends up to just be a one-on-one match between Randy and Alistair, because maybe Nick Aldis doesn't want to get in the ring. And that's going to be a wrap on my WrestleMania 41 weekend predictions. From the chaos of the Andre the Giant Battle Royal to the tag title scene on SmackDown and all the action on Stand and Deliver, both Epic Nights Mania. Now it's your turn. Drop your predictions in the comments below. Who do you think steals the show? Who walks out with gold? What surprise moments are you expecting this weekend? Let's get that conversation going down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more wrestling content just like this, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a drop from MattTalkTV. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you after Mania for the Fallout. Until then, stay hype, stay loud, stay locked in right here on MattTalkTV.